Hello, a very good morning to you wherever you are. We've got the Talk Sports here on the AM show. My name is Benedict Owusu, and today I'll show you a highlight of how Manchester City, walloped Real Madrid by 4-1, and also in that pre-season friendly that Barcelona played against Manchester United for the first time in pre-season. United lost their very first game to Barcelona. It was Neymar, the man whose future has been a subject of talk in the transfer window, scored for Barcelona. So 3 goals in 2 games for Neymar as Barca prepare for the start of the new Spanish La Liga season. But here on the local scene, the first Vice President of the Confederation of African Football, Kwesi Nyantakyi, thinks it is wrong for anyone to say that African football is being dictated to by European football. Now, there are talks that the top officials of CAF succumb to pressure from the Europeans in amending the Africa Cup of Nations timing and also the increment of participating teams from 16 to 24. But in his first and exclusive interview since he led CAF's Reforms Committee in looking at the tournament format, Nyantakyi, who doubles as president of the Ghana FA, says their decision was not influenced by anybody.
I don't agree. I don't agree to that. Where is the dictation? Is there any evidence of that? Or is it just a rumor? The Europeans are part of the international football community. In fact, the most influential people in the international football world are the Europeans because they organize the most lucrative leagues in the world. The most attractive leagues in the world are in Europe. They attract the best players from Africa and America to come and play in Europe. And so they have a point of view to express. But it's not binding on us. We have realized that this is the best way to go in Africa, and we have accepted to go that way. I do not think that it is just like following Europeans sheepishly and just taking what they want to pursue their interests. I think the interest of Africa is the driving and motivating consideration in the choice of this decision.
Well, President Kwesi Nyantakyi added that all factors were taken into consideration and outlines some of the benefit Africa would derive from the AFCON tournament amendments.
I think it shouldn't surprise you that there are serious undertones underlying the radical changes that were made in the timing for AFCON. Over the years, there has been this raging battle between African football federations and European clubs over releases, and even UEFA against CAF on the timing for the AFCON. And I think generally, many people think that a lot of shine is taken away from the AFCON because it's played in January and we don't have some of our best players playing their trade in Europe coming to participate in the competition. So I think this is in response to the long-standing cry, which I'll call a clarion call for a change or a shift in the calendar. And I think that has been most welcome by many, many people in Europe, in Africa, across the world.
At a glance, if you're looking at the countries on the continent that can host the Nations Cup. So that was President of the Football Association, Kwesi Nyantakyi. That was as first CAF Vice President. We'll hear from him more in our subsequent sports bulletins. The full interview will come your way on our sports program on Pulse. Well, we still have to stay here and do some more because Premier League clubs have been responding to the Premier League board decision to put the league on a month break. Now, the PLB, after a meeting on Tuesday, resolved that the league should be put on hold to allow the local Black Stars prepare well for the ACHAN 2018 qualifier against Burkina Faso and also clear some outstanding games. Albert Komi, who is CEO of Indiana Stars, would have wished the league continues, but insists the reasons for the postponement cannot be overlooked.
There's nothing you can do. When such force majeure comes and other very important assignments are there, you are forced to go on such breaks. Because, for instance, what happened to Kotoko is unfortunate. You don't expect it. And we have no choice than to give them ample time for them to recover. What I will also say is that when you look at the CHAN, it's another opportunity to brand Ghana. And for that matter, I would love to see our full force to make sure that we get the ultimate. If we can achieve that, then we have a role to play. And for that matter, the decision or the proposals that the PLB sent to the Ghana Football Association for approval is in order.
Could this probably be a decision that will help your club as well?
Well, what do I say? You do have no choice. It's not a matter of helping or whatever. We will have to re-strategize. We've just relayed the information to our coaches. The technical teams and the players have to look at and then come. Because it takes time. If you don't manage it very well, it affects you negatively. That is why we have managers. You are supposed to manage situations when it comes. And for me, I think that we'll surmount the headache when it comes.
So that was Ediana Star CEO Albert Coming. His side actually doing very well in the league. Currently, they are on top of the Premier League and are hoping to win it with 7 matches to win. Well, he responded to that, but we'll bring you that later. And also for Abdullah Al-Hassan, who is owner of Bolga All Stars, they are languishing bottom of the Premier League table with just 12 points. Well, he thinks that the Premier League board has done the right thing.
There are programs that are lined up for the purpose of the postponement, and those programs actually, part of it is the national assignment, and which clubs, players are much involved. And if it is Bolga All Stars, I have about 3 players that I'm losing to the national program. I will definitely support the postponement of the league.
So that was Bolga All Star CEO Abdullah Al-Hassan. We still stay here on the local scene and do some more here on the sports segment on the AM show. And the first gentleman of Malta, Edgar Precker, paid a courtesy call on the Ghana Football Association and the Sports Ministry yesterday to talk about a prospective sports and youth business relationship between the two countries. Well, my colleague Daniel Dake was there and has come through with this report.
Mr. Edgar Precker met Sports Minister Isaac Esiama and his deputy, Pius Enam, as well as Ghana Football Association President Kwesi Nyantakyi and some members of the Executive Committee. Following a fruitful interaction with the Football and Sports Ministry officials, the first gentleman of Malta, who is in the country with his wife, Marie-Louise Precker, president of Malta, on a 3-day visit to Ghana to strengthen the bond between the two countries, spoke about how sports can be used to build the capacity of the youth.
Each other, we keep our youth away from bad habits, learn to work in a team, in a synergy, and we should use sports as a universal language. We should promote sport to work for peace. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
Sports Minister Isaac Esiama was thrilled with Mr. Precker's visit. For him, it will go a long way to deepen the bilateral relationship between the two countries in the area of sports.
As I said in the morning, your visit is historic. It's the first time we have a first gentleman of any country visiting the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So we are proud and we are grateful for your visit. We've discussed a lot of issues, deepening the bilateral relationship between Ghana and Malta, particularly in the area of sports, youth and sports development. We are going to continue to deepen the relationship to ensure that mutually both countries benefit.
Ghana Football Association President Kwesi Nyantakyi, on behalf of his outfit, are already looking at how the two countries can benefit from each other in football development.
This is one of the few high-profile dignitaries that we've received at the premises of the GFA, and we are very proud of it. Today marks a big or an important milestone in the life of our football with your visits, and we hope that we can build upon this visit to cement or strengthen the relationship between Ghana and Malta in football. Maybe we are your seniors in football, and we'll be able to offer some support for you to get up to our level. There may be other areas that you can also offer some support, and I believe that through the collaborative efforts of the two countries, we can help to do programs that will inure to the mutual benefit of our two countries and organizations.
So that was the president of the Football Association, Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi, ended my colleague Daniel Dake's report. Now, we have to do the preseason matches that were played yesterday, because Manchester United have wrapped up their preseason tour of the United States of America on a defeat note. Well, they lost to Barcelona by a goal to nil. It was Neymar who did that damage to Manchester United in Maryland. So Manchester City defeated Real Madrid by 4-1 in that preseason friendly. Let's do some tennis before we take leave of here. Novak Djokovic has confirmed that he's not going to play again this year. He wants to take a rest and recover from that elbow injury he suffered whilst playing at the Wimbledon Championship in that quarterfinal game against Thomas Berdych. So what it means is that he will miss this year's US Open. So there will be no Novak Djokovic, at this year's US Open. Well, on that note, we end sports this morning here on the AM Show. I'm Benedict Owusu. Thanks so much for your company. We are back with more sports news at 2 on Sports Today. That's our major sports bulletin on this platform with Nathaniel Atto. Until then, you can read more sports stories for yourself on the My Joy Online Sports page, and also follow us on our various social media platforms. You can get us on Twitter. It's at Joy Sports GH. On Facebook, it's at Joy Sports. Enjoy your day.